What it really means when a married man wants you, Carl. Jung, imagine this. You're living your life. You're not chasing anything. You're not even asking for attention. But then he appears. He's charming, attentive. He listens. He lingers, but there's a problem. He's already taken a wife, a girlfriend, a family maybe. In this video, we'll delve into the silent pain of emotional entanglement, into the psychology behind unmet attraction, and most importantly, into the truth that will set you free. It's not just about him. It's about you, into your patterns, into your power, into your awakening. If you're ready to stop repeating the story and start rewriting it, you're in the right place. But before we begin, if this really resonates with you, don't forget to subscribe to the Mind and Machiavelli blog. Hit the like button and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of truth. Let's get started. You weren't looking for this. You weren't chasing it. And yet, something about him pulls you in. Or maybe, something deep inside you answers a call you never meant to hear. You didn't start this, but now you're in it. And the question burns louder with every glance. What does it really mean when a man who's already committed wants you? Let's go deeper, not with judgment, but with brutal honesty. Because according to Carl Jung, this isn't about love. It's not even really about you. It's about him and the shadows inside him that haven't been faced. When a man reaches outside his relationship, it's rarely about lust. It's rarely even about the woman standing in front of him. It's about something missing. A silent hunger to reconnect with a part of himself that feels lost. Jung called it the pursuit of the feminine within. He isn't chasing you. He's chasing a feeling. Vitality, mystery, possibility. That spark he once had, or maybe never did. And so, he projects that longing onto you, not because of who you are, but because of what your presence symbolizes. You become the mirror, the vessel for his emptiness. He holds your image like a glass to the hollow within him, hoping you'll fill it. But here's the raw truth. You were never meant to carry that burden. Yet so many women do. They turn inward. They ask themselves, did I lead him on? Did I invite this? But the answer is far deeper and far more dangerous. This was, I too open? Is there something wrong with me for even responding? Let me be clear. Your energy is not the problem, but it is magnetic. And if it awakens something in him, it says more about his absence than your presence. Because a man who is whole, a man who is aligned, a man who honors the vows he made, will feel attraction. Yes, but he might contain it. He might respect it. He might even choose not to act on it. But don't be fooled. The fact that he reached for you doesn't mean you're special. And it doesn't mean you're not. It means he's divided inside himself. Carl Jung warned us of this fracture. The man who walks in daylight, but is led by the night. The man who smiles on the outside, while something buried pulls the strings within. You've felt this if you've ever been caught in that invisible triangle. You didn't ask for it, but here you are, entangled in a chaos that feels like fate. You tell yourself, he must feel something real, or why would he risk it? He must be unhappy in his relationship. He must see something in me no one else ever saw. But let's be honest, that's not truth. That's the story your heart tells to soften the storm. Because the real truth is heavier. A man can crave connection and still be terrified of intimacy. He can chase depth and still live shallow. He can reach for your light and still be hiding in rooms filled with locked doors. Jung knew the unconscious always seeks balance. So if a man feels lifeless, numb, or lost, his soul will reach for contrast, for light, for warmth, for you. But here's the danger. If he hasn't done the work within, he won't see you. He'll see a mirror, reflecting only what he needs to feel alive again. Not your truth, not your essence, just his escape. So, what does he really want from you? Validation, mystery, the intoxicating feeling of being alive again. He wants the illusion of a second chance, without ever facing the truth about the first. He wants your softness, but not your needs. He wants your light, but not your boundaries. He wants the way you see him, not the mirror you'll become. Because make no mistake, the deeper your connection gets, the more he'll have to confront the man behind the mask. The shadows he's buried, the wounds he never healed. And unless he's done that inner work, he won't stay. He can't. Not without breaking something. You or himself. But hear this clearly. You were not born to be anyone's emotional rehab. You were not created to carry what another refuses to hold. So when he comes to you with those haunting words, "I've never felt this before," you're different. Pause, look deeper, and ask yourself the question that matters most. Are you being chosen or simply used as a momentary escape? She doesn't understand me like you do. Those words. They're not always lies, but they're not the truth either. They are projections, echoes from a fractured soul, whispers from a man desperate to escape responsibility and feel something again. But what happens when that high fades? When the spark starts to dim and you begin to want something real? When you finally ask, where is this going? What am I to you? That's when the distance begins. That's when the illusion starts to crack. Because for him, this was never about building anything. It was about escaping everything. And as Carl Jung reminds us, anything born in shadow must eventually face the light, or it will destroy both the seeker and the source. So no, this is not your fault. But yes, you were the light he borrowed when he couldn't find his own. You have a choice. You can step back. You can ask the deeper question, why did I let this get this far? What in me responded to something that I knew wasn't aligned? Because as much as he is projecting onto you, you may be projecting something onto him. Maybe you thought he saw the real you. Maybe you believed you were finally being chosen. Maybe you felt for once like you mattered. And that's where it gets painful. Because maybe, just maybe, it's not the man you wanted. It's the feeling, the moment, the reflection, the idea that you could be worth chasing. But let me tell you something. You don't need someone else's chaos to prove your worth. You don't need to be desired in secrecy just to feel seen. You don't need stolen moments to remind you that you are wanted, because your value was never meant to live in the margins of someone else's life. You are not a detour. You are not a pause. You are not a thrill in the middle of someone else's confusion. You are a destination, a beginning, a whole world, meant to be met in the open, not hidden in the shadows. So stop shrinking for men who only show up half alive. Stop shining for those who only come to borrow your light and run. You are not made to be temporary in anyone's story. You are made to be chosen, fully. Not in secret, not in passing, but in truth. You are a mirror, a soul, a woman whose presence awakens something buried in others. But hear this. You are not responsible for what they do with that awakening. As Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. So let him face his fate. Let him stand before the mirror life handed him. Let him wrestle with the truth he tried to run from. But you were never meant to carry the weight of what was never yours. You are not here to heal what someone else refuses to name. You are not here to stay stuck in the hidden patterns they won't break. Let him go. Let the mirror shatter. And let yourself rise. Free, whole, unapologetically you. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button. Now, let's get back to the truth that's been quietly waiting for us underneath all this. So far, we've discovered why he wants you. But let's be honest, that's only half the story. Because yes, he may want you, but you're the one who lets him. You're the one who opens the door. You're the one who lets it take root, sometimes only in your mind at first. And hear me clearly. This isn't weakness. This isn't a failure. It's a milestone, a sign that something inside you is hungry. Hungry for attention, for depth, for connection. Even if came from the wrong place. Carl Jung spoke often of the shadow, not just in others, but in ourselves. The parts of us. We bury the needs. We ignore the desires we label as wrong. So they go underground and show up in ways we don't expect. So if you found yourself pulled into something that doesn't align with your values, it's not because you're broken. It's because something in your shadow is speaking. Let's name it. Maybe you've spent your whole life being the good woman, the one who waits, who gives, who puts everyone first and herself last. And then this man sees you, desires you, and for once, you feel visible, chosen, needed. But here's the truth. Being seen by someone unavailable isn't real visibility. It's emotional bait, and if you're starving, even crumbs can taste like a meal. So ask yourself, honestly, what did I hope to feel through this connection? Not what you hoped he would do, but what you hoped to feel safe, wanted, finally. Enough. Because that, right there, is the root. The thread that leads all the way back to the wound. And until that part of you is acknowledged, until she is seen, held, healed, you will keep repeating the same emotional pattern, just dressed in different faces, different names, same emptiness. Jung believed we are drawn to people not simply by attraction, but because they reflect a part of us we have yet to make peace with. So when you find yourself pulled towards someone unavailable, you must ask, what am I still unavailable to within myself? Is it your truth, your rage, your right to be fully chosen, not hidden, not negotiated, but claimed? Because sometimes being the other woman isn't about seduction. It's about self-abandonment disguised as connection. You accepted half-truths because you forgot how to stand fully in your own. And let's be honest, it's not just the man who's conflicted. You might be too. Because there's a part of you that knows this isn't safe. This won't last. This will end in heartbreak or guilt or both. And yet, you stayed. Why? Because sometimes pain feels familiar. Because you've mistaken chaos for chemistry. Because somewhere deep down, you feared that no one truly free would ever choose you. So you settled for someone who wasn't. Let that sink in, not with shame, but with compassion. Because that's where healing begins. Carl Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls." And sometimes, we use other people as distractions from our own emptiness. We call it love, but it's just avoidance in disguise. But here's the good news. Awareness changes everything. The moment you name the pattern, you loosen its grip. The moment you see why you stayed, you reclaim your choice to leave. You don't have to keep betraying yourself just to feel wanted by someone who can't fully give. So let's get practical. If you're in this kind of situation or healing from one, what can you do? Now it's time to get real, to move from reflection to action. Step 1. Tell the story. Sit down. Write exactly what happened. No filters. No fantasy. Not what you hoped it was. Not what you told yourself it could be, but what it actually was. Then read it aloud. Let your own words hit the air. Let yourself hear the parts you've been avoiding, the silence between the excuses, the truth behind the tension. Yes, it may hurt, but it will also liberate you. Step 2. Name the need behind the attraction. Ask yourself, what was I truly craving? Was it protection? Was it validation? Was it simply the feeling of being seen, even if it wasn't real? Because until you meet that need within yourself, you will keep seeking it in others who cannot offer it fully. Now ask yourself, what I was looking for in him, can I begin to give that to myself? The passion, the presence, the feeling of being wanted. How can I pour that into my own life without borrowing energy from someone else's confusion? Here's the truth. The more you meet your own needs, the less magnetic, unavailable energy becomes. You start to feel the difference between something that feeds your soul and something that just feeds your fantasy. Close the loop energetically. Even if you're no longer in contact, the bond may still be open. You think of him. You wait for the message that never comes. You feel unfinished. So finish it. Write a letter you'll never send. Say everything. Raw, real, unfiltered. Then burn it. Not out of anger, but to release the tie. You are not breaking a bond. You are reclaiming your power, your energy, your peace. And you are finally coming home to yourself. Choose someone who chooses you, not in theory, not someday, not when it's convenient or easy, but someone who sees you, who wants you, who claims you in the light. If that sounds rare, it's only because you haven't yet believed you deserve it. But you do. You always have. You were never born to be an option. You are not here to be hidden. Your love is not meant to survive in stolen moments and whispered promises. As Carl Jung reminds us, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. But hear this. Transformation only happens when both are present, whole, willing. Half love will never bring full healing. So, if you've been here, stuck in this space of emotional in-betweenness, this is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of a new one. One where your worth is not tied to someone else's inability to commit, where your beauty is not measured by who desires you, but by how you honor yourself. Because the one who truly sees you will never ask you to shrink just to fit their confusion. They will rise to meet you, or they will fall away. Either way, you will remain whole. You are not too much. You are not too intense. You are not a mistake. You are simply awakening. And with awakening comes a choice: to keep repeating what wounds you, or to begin choosing what restores you. So choose, not from fear, not from longing, but from truth. And let that truth lead you back to yourself. Because that's where your healing lives. That's where your power begins. And that's where your real story starts. If this video spoke to a part of you that words usually can't reach, share it with someone who needs it. Comment below what part hit you the hardest. And make sure you're subscribed to Mind and Machiavelli for more powerful, soul-shifting content.